I want to move on now to some rapid fire questions. When I'm throwing some questions to you, you just let me know your answer straight off the top of your head if you can. Ready to rock?
Hmm. Hmm.
Here we go. Best cinema Batman, as in the person who portrayed Batman Bruce Wayne on the movies.
Christian Bale.
Ah, yeah. See, I got a controversial take on Christian Bale. My one is best Bruce Wayne, but he's not my favorite Batman.
Oh,
I like
I
what he
understand
does with
that.
Bruce, because it's the voice. When I
Yeah.
watched The Dark Knight and he had like the whole, I'm not going to do an impersonation, but the voice has really put me off. And I kind of understand where he's coming from. But his Bruce Wayne, I really dug. Because like I love Michael Keaton's Batman, but his Bruce Wayne, I didn't really buy. And to me, I think what Robert Pattinson did actually was the younger version of the character. It was really fantastic. I really liked what he did there as well. Like Christian Bale, awesome.
Hmm.
Next one. Pineapple on pizza. Yes or no?
No, 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 no. You're insane if you do that. I don't think fruit should be on anything fun. No, no, no strawberries on cake, no nuts. Absolutely no nuts, no pineapple on pizza. No. Fruit
Nope.
separate.
Yep. No raspberries on ice cream, nothing like that. It's just on the side. On the side. Okay. What is this one might take a little bit of time, but what is your favorite comic book storyline? What storyline in a comic book, like an arc or a storyline like that went over like several issues that you really enjoyed?
Over several issues, like I could name lots of one shots for that. That's a little bit hard for me to answer because there's so many that come to mind. Um, uh, oh my goodness, that is a tough question. I mean, in terms of like things that you could collect in a graphic novel, I really love Batman: The Long Halloween.
Hmm.
Um, so many Batman comics that really do a great job. I read a great one this year called Batman and Joker: The Deadly Duo. Last good comic that ever came out. Recently, if you've been following my community posts, I've been really getting into the X-Men, and my favorite character from that is Rogue. And you can just get into so many like good arcs that they did with her, from stealing Captain Marvel's or Carol Danvers' powers, which by the way, perfect setup in the movies right now. No one likes Carol Danvers. Have Rogue steal her powers, get flight and strength. Thank you very much. But you can read that. You can read in the 90s where she kind of comes into her own, and a lot of that about her relationship with Gambit, and just that very well done writing for a relationship in comics, and how the characters challenge each other and challenge each other to change. Um, Dark Phoenix from X-Men, obviously a great run, but it's really hard for me to pick one. Like I could pick, like, my favorite comic individually is Batman Mad Love, which was the origin of Harley, as written by her creator Paul Dini. That's my
Hmm.
favorite comic of all time, and any of its reimaginings. Um, but it's hard for me to like pick one arc in comics. And like there's Spider-Man stuff. Like there's like the night Gwen Stacy died, and I know that some of the dialogue is dated and cheesy, but I love reading that one because of thinking about like what it meant for the time to have a superhero fail, to just the groundbreakingness of the time. Because you can almost like, even though some of the dialogue is cheesy, you can almost like feel the shock in the comic still, the fact that they were actually doing that. And so yeah, there's just way too many to choose from for me to really nail it down.
Favorite Disney animated movie?
Mulan.
Ah, Milan. Very
No
good.
question, no question. I've even planned, because I keep saying on my channel I want to do some more positive videos, and I was thinking, well, maybe I'll do a Mulan review this month, and hopefully that'll pick up or something. But like, no question, favorite Disney animated movie.
I love to see that, by the way. I love to see like some Jester Bell recommendations for movies and comic book
Oh
stuff would
yeah,
be awesome.
definitely.
Okay, so the next one we can do DCEU and the MCU. Favorite superhero movie from either universe.
DCEU, if you're just talking about DC, are you talking about the DCEU or DC movies in general?
Let's go general.
Okay, favorite DC movie, Dark Knight. Favorite Marvel movie. Um, it's a toss up between the Avengers and Infinity War. I'm gonna go with the Avengers because it, like, as I said a little bit earlier, it holds a special place with me. So I'm gonna go with the Avengers.
That's actually one of my like top three favorite, still to this day, favorite superhero movies, The Avengers, because I
Yeah.
collected Avengers comics when I grew up, and to see it all kind of come together on the screen like that, it was just fantastic. Last one. Now, you're a filmmaker. If you could get the chance to write and direct any character in the storyline for that character, which character would it be? Now, I'm going to guess Harley Quinn, but how would you do if it is Harley Quinn? How would you do Harley Quinn on the screen? And what storyline would you pick up from the comics to put onto the screen?
Well, it's funny because I have at both points as a filmmaker, I've thought I would love to work on Batman just to do Harley Quinn, and that if I was doing Marvel, I would love to do X-Men. And like for me, I would like to have my cake and eat it too, to be able to do both of them.
Mm.
But it like so I'll just compartmentalize. Like I would accept either one. I Harley is probably the number one just because of how I feel like I'm the only one who understands the character anymore. And what I would do with that is I would it would be just so amazing for me to go back to the character's origins. And I would like to portray her in more than one thing, just to do an entire history. But to go back to her origins, and there's a book, and I always say it's not appropriate for all audiences. It's very adult. There's some things I wish they didn't do in it, but it's called Harleen, and it was a mature reimagining of her origins. And it really gets into like who she was before her fall and what broke her mind down, like the fear, the fact that she cut herself off from everyone. She tried to deal with her fears by drinking, and just, this sort of gradual decay of a person. And that is the human, that's like the human element that has been lost to the character. And, just to be able to finally do that and portray that on screen and go, after all these years, and, maybe the Joker sequel, maybe a little bit of humanity will come back to the character, and that we will see. But, there's like a very pivotal moment of the comic where she accidentally kills someone. And she doesn't mean to do it. She's kind of lost her mind at that point, but she didn't actually mean to kill this person. But it's just like the artwork is just incredible in this book about how this was like the breaking moment from all these points in her life, leaving her to just let go of everything. And like, it's just such a tragic thing, but it also resonates about like having all these pressures and just breaking. So I would just love to portray that on screen. And it's very good about how it handles her relationship with the Joker as well. It handles it with a lot of nuance. And so like to just portray all those elements, but to finally depict her on screen and be like, this is what the character is, this is the depth, this is what I've been seeing in her the entire time, would be my number one thing ever. However, if I was also able to do like an X-Men story for Marvel, I was thinking if I was to do X-Men, then I would have a very bright color palette, just like the comics and how they would always use, very loud primary colors. You have that very distinct color palette, not be afraid of any of the comic book elements, and have that kind of tie into how the X-Men need to learn not to be afraid of who they are. Like that, I really want to get into Rogue's backstory, her relationship with Mystique, and her honing her powers, relationship with Gambit, all of that stuff. And, do other characters too, like Wolverine. I also love Wolverine. So that'd be my second choice.
Thank you for watching the Matt's Movie Reviews channel. Please subscribe for more reviews, podcast interviews, and exclusive content.